In this video, I want to walk you through some basic editing in FTR jobs. In transcription, you just typed everything into the one big edit box and you didn't get to see how it would be broken up into different lines. Here in FTR, each sentence will be on its own line. A speaker change will automatically start a new line as well. Blank audio tags will always appear by themselves on a single line. And crowd-surf customers can choose whether other tags, like music, will appear on a line by themselves or just be part of a sentence. So in addition to correcting the content of the job, it's important to know how to combine and split lines and also add and remove lines. So let's listen to a couple of lines and make a few edits to demonstrate this. I'm going to choose this line. You'll notice it's highlighted in yellow. That means it's now the active line. And when I click here to play it from the beginning, that's what we should hear. So let's listen.
I noticed you guys requested 16 tickets to come to the show. Unfortunately, parties are 5 or more I cannot authorize, so I'm going to have to ask my supervisor.
And I'll go ahead and stop it there, because hopefully you notice that even though there's a speaker change here, you can see the double chevrons and the red icon, this is the same person talking. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that speaker change icon. Now, the system has not combined the lines yet, even though there's no punctuation at the end of this line. But if we go in here and make any edit at all, the system will go ahead and combine it. So I'm going to make this change here, parties of 5. And you'll see that it did bring up the previous line. It's now combined with this one. I'll change this and to or. And I also noticed that she said gonna, so I'll make that edit and add a comma right here. So now we have everything that she said all on one line. But let's listen to it again and see if maybe we could split it somewhere.
I noticed you guys requested 16 tickets to come to the show. Unfortunately, parties are 5 or more I cannot authorize, so I'm going to have to ask my supervisor.
Okay. Now, we could break the sentence right here. So I'm going to remove this comma, capitalize unfortunately, and go ahead and add a comma here as well because it needed it. And now when I click anywhere else on the interface, it just went ahead and split the line where I put that period. So that is how you combine lines, and that's how you split lines right there. Now we're going to continue to listen because now I want to show you how to add a line.
These are 5 or more I cannot authorize, so I'm going to have to ask my supervisor.
What is the request? Sylvie and...
Okay, I'm going to stop it there again. Now the timing is off in this section, and we're going to talk about that more in depth in a future video for the sake of time. I just want to point out that after what is the request, you notice that the ladies were screaming. Well, we have a way to transcribe that using AAH to denote a scream. So I want to go ahead and add that. But sometimes it can be confusing. Well, where do you add that? It belongs between these two lines. Well, what I do is I go to the previous line here, what is the request? And at the end, I just keep typing like I would in transcription. So because this was the ladies screaming, we need a speaker change, which we can do with double chevrons, just like transcription. There's our scream. And again, once I click anywhere else, the system has added that line. Now, because I added the line with another speaker, and Ellen continues to speak here, we also need to go ahead and put a speaker change in that place. So now you know how to add a line. And I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom to show you how to remove one. Because right here at the bottom, you'll notice there's 2 music tags right after each other. There's actually 2 things I can point out to you here. The first is that we really don't need a period. In fact, we're not supposed to have one after a standalone tag. So the period should have been removed anyway. But we're going to go ahead and remove this whole line because we don't need 2 music tags. So I'm just going to highlight it. Click backspace, and you'll see the system has taken it out. And now you know how to combine and split, add and remove lines. A couple of other quick tips. In transcription, you were allowed to put a G, a /G, on the end of a word if it was a guess. But you'll probably notice that you haven't seen any /Gs here in FTR. That's because they're all stripped out by the time they get here. So don't put a /G on something if you're not sure, because it's just going to get taken right out. And also, when you were marked, when your work was reviewed in transcription, if you had a /G or you had an unknown tag or an inaudible tag, the reviewer wasn't supposed to mark you down for those, even if they knew what the right word was. But that's not the case for FTR. Once you get to FTR, you need to do your best to replace all unknown and inaudible tags with the proper text. If you absolutely can't, that's okay. But if it goes to QC and the QCer can figure out what it's supposed to be, you will get marked down for that, unfortunately. And then also, unlike transcription, where your work goes through a spell checker before you can submit it, there is no crowd-surf spell checker in FTR. The spell check that you do see when you're working here in the edit box, it's the one that's built into your browser. So just be aware of that. It can still be very helpful, but it may not have some of the specifics that CrowdSurf had in their spell checker. All right, happy editing.